Welcome back, everybody. We're back at it for a new episode of Disruptors. Today, I'm gonna make you travel the world. Go from Africa to New York City to end up in Hollywood. Indeed, I'm honored to receive the very special guest for me. A man of multiple talents, amateur champion, former professional boxer, celebrity boxing trainer. He trains the most elite individuals in the industry of sports and entertainment. A man that never sleeps, travels the world, and carries a unique personality. He's a true champ and a real disruptor. Ladies and gentlemen, the world famous HOLLYWOODHINO. What's up, champ?
My sweet brother Numsek.
How you doing, man? How you doing? Welcome to Paris.
It's shit. I heard it's a city of love. Is that true?
That's what they say.
So how do I fit in? I'm a fighter, not a lover.
Oh man. Say no more.
I'm a fighter, not a lover. So how do I fit into Paris? I flew 11 hours here.
Man.
10 hours LA to Heathrow, and then London 1 hour here.
Well, I'll make
11 hours.
I'll make sure I host you well then.
Just to come disrupt.
That's all you do. Disrupt the game.
That's it.
My man. So, KingHino, HOLLYWOODHINO, like what's up, man? I'm lost.
Well, I used to be Hollywood.
So that's old news?
That's old news. The wise man said every day you can reinvent yourself.
Every day.
Every day you can reinvent yourself. You don't have to wait till the year is over and people go, oh, new year, new me. No, you can reinvent yourself every 24 hours. So it's KingHino.
Every 12 hours, every 6 hours.
Exactly. So it's KingHino worldwide, as you can see. I felt like Hollywood was like, that was a stage name. That was like my fighting name. That was my...
You'll tell me about it later.
Yeah.
You'll tell me about that nickname later.
Yeah, so it's Hollywood is local.
Got it.
So
Got it.
The king is worldwide.
It's global.
Yeah, it's global.
Got it. So for those who may not know you, those who may not know you, tell us a little more about you in a brief, answer. I mean, you started 15 years ago, obviously.
Yeah, more than 15.
What's up with the journey?
Born and raised in West Africa, Nigeria. Came to the States thanks to moms. Came to the States. 7 siblings.
Big family.
12 years old. New York City, Left Rack City, Queens. Then we moved to Jackson Heights, East Elmhurst, and started boxing when I was 16, 17 years old.
Wow.
And I played every sport. I was soccer, basketball, same thing your friends are doing, that's what you do. And eventually you're like, all right, let me step outside of this box. And
disrupt.
Let's try something more challenging.
Right.
You know what I mean? Less team sport, more. I give credit to everybody that plays an individual sport like golf, tennis. Yeah. I give credit to that because that's
a different beast.
It's a different beast and it builds character. Yeah. It builds character. Nobody to lean on, no substitutes.
It's you.
So you gotta get. It's you versus you every day. So I think that was the best decision I ever made in my life, When I started boxing, that was like, that opened like every door. I started traveling the world on the USA boxing team, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, boxing can take you places, Yeah. So, and as what I loved most about boxing, it was a non-seasonal sport. So there's always something to do.
Yep.
There's no breaks. Like basketball has breaks, baseball has breaks, football has breaks. After the Super Bowl, after the World Series, after the NBA Finals, there's no breaks in boxing.
No breaks.
Boxing, you have to stay prepared at all times. So boxing is the most relatable to real life.
Yeah. Always stay ready.
You always got to be ready. Exactly. You don't know when you're going to get that call.
Right.
And that's life.
Right.
And stay prepared at all times, So I just loved it. It gave you something to do all the time. You can never be bored as a boxer. If you're home, your body's sore. If you're at the gym, you're working. If you wake up in the morning earlier than everybody, you're doing 8 miles, So there was always something to do, as a fighter. You know what I mean? You're thinking of your next fight. You got a fight date coming up. You always have a fight date coming up. So there's always something to do. So fighters never get bored because we're always on schedule, or might get a call earlier than that. So that's what I love about boxing. It was equivalent to real life.
Got it.
You lose a fight, nobody calls your phone. You win a fight,
everybody's your friend. Everybody loves you.
Same as life. You have no money, nobody cares about you. You have money, you're everybody's friend. So yeah, so it's a great like narrative.
Great teacher.
Yes.
Great teacher.
It's a quick teacher too. Like you grow up fast. Like kids grow up fast, like when they start boxing, because they learn a lot about life. And boxing is a cultural sport too.
Right.
It has it doesn't care about religion. It doesn't care about race, creed, or where you're from. It doesn't care how big the man is, the opponent. That's why I love that about boxing. You know what I mean? And it explains how real life. You grow up fast.
You grow up fast.
Yeah.
And you learn from your lessons.
Yeah, I was an 18-year-old grown man.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because of boxing.
Exactly.
I learned how to take hits early. You learn how to be rejected early. You learn how to take a loss early.
You learn how to fall and still get back up.
Still get back up. So yeah, you learn all those things from boxing, which is relatable to that's why I say life is easy, because like if you ever become a fighter, everything in life becomes easy to you, because like you're like, man, I've been through hell and back, done talked to Satan, came back, and I done overcome those obstacles that were put in front of me my whole life. So everything in life is easy.
So let me ask you this question. Is anyone gave you your first gig? How did you get into training?
That's a good question. I got into training so my last fight was on the Contender Season 4 finale.
And then come around, son. There you go.
KingHino is going to step up to the plate. He's got the quickness. He's got the footwork. He's ready to go at any time.
I love boxing. I do personal training in New York. I don't feel like that's work, because it's my passion to teach people how to fight.
And after that, I started to want to figure out what to do next.
Right.
I've been boxing so long, so many pro fights, so many amateur fights, and I'm like, all right, there gotta be something else to do. You know what I mean? I'm in my late 20s, and I gotta step outside this box that I've been doing my whole teens and 20s. So the personal training really came like natural. I was like, I might as well, I done soaked up all this knowledge from this sport, I might as well pass it on to others, So it was like, I was at the gym, I was leaving, and then my guy Jon Snow goes, yo man, you wanna cover for somebody today? And I was like, I don't know how to train people. He was like, don't worry about it, just give me your personality.
Yeah.
I say, and the first day I was like, oh, that wasn't bad, you know what I mean? And it's a good way to make a living on the side if I'm not gonna compete anymore. But I made a decision to myself. I said, if I'm gonna do this 100% and not go back to fighting, I'm gonna be the best, and I'm gonna train the best.
That's what you want to be. You want to be the best, anyways.
Why do something if you're not gonna be number one at it?
Do it well or don't do it at all.
What's the point?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? People say they give 100%. That's not enough.
Nah, you go 500%.
That's not. I give 1,000%. You know what I mean? I give 1,000%, 6 a.m., 6 p.m., any time frame. So, and that's what I did. You know what I mean? No sleep, no putting energy into things that didn't have a future behind it. Like it didn't make no sense. Young people waste so much energy on meaningless activities that they're surprised why, when it's time to chase the dream.
Yeah.
They're exhausted, you know what I mean? So, I choose and pick the battles, main thing that I did that most people don't do, and this is not just for trainers, this is just for entrepreneurs and people that want to become great. I did the opposite of what everybody did. If you wake up at 7 a.m., I was gonna wake up at 5. I outworked everybody.
Yeah, right.
My gym was closed on Sundays. I was the only trainer at the gym on Sundays.
That's how you disrupt.
People take off their birthday, never. That meant nothing to me. That was just another day. Birthday was just another day to me. Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Labor Day weekend. Every holiday that America has to distract people, because it's a distraction. If you fall for it. If you fall for it, they put it out there for you to, once you take off, the man behind you, he gonna pass you. Opportunity doesn't go away, the man said. It doesn't go away. It just goes to the next person.
The next person.
Opportunity does not go away. People are like, man, I missed out on an opportunity. Yeah, it went to the next man because he was more hungrier than you. And that's what I was. I'm still hungry till today. But not like I was when I was, if you met me as a young lion, I was unstoppable.
That's real.
You know what I mean? So that's, you have to do, you're not doing enough. People are like, oh, I've been doing this for 5 years. Why I never plateaued, I never made it big. I'm like,
nobody cares, just work harder. Who cares?
5 years, what is that?
So let me ask you this. Even in the industry of trainers, you came up as a former pro that trains. Most guys at the time, guys coming from regular fitness clubs or the track and field industry, but it was unseen to see a former fighter comes in as a trainer. Yeah. What's like? How did you even
differentiate myself? I've seen athletes that were good at their sport and then now are like teaching, but they were all doing the same thing. Like, I said, how am I gonna stand out from this saturated field? This field is so saturated. And then when social media came out, it really became saturated. Everybody was lifting weights, everybody was holding pads. I said, man, I gotta get out of this box. So then what stood me out was my personality. I know my energy is unmatched. So I just put all that together, man. I just created my own style. And then people started knowing me for the trainer that screams on people and roasts people. So when I was in the East Coast, everybody's like, yo, you that trainer that yell at people, right? Like when people see me out in the club, I'm like, yeah, what's up? Like, why do people always say that to me? They're like, you the trainer that curses people out? Man, you need to curse me out like that. I'm like, what?
Like they wanted that. They wanted to be cursed. See,
that's everything I had to market, because when I first started and I started cursing people out, I started yelling at people. I remember somebody said, yo, man, you gotta. Nah, I said, there's a market for everybody. And this is my thing, you know what I mean? And people love it, and people hate it. I've heard people say, everybody's not gonna like you. You don't sell ice cream. Everybody's not gonna like you. You have to accept that as a young age.
Exactly.
You're not pizza. Everybody's not gonna like you. So yeah, people didn't like Jesus. So who am I?
Yeah, exactly.
So they were like, I was like, nah, I'm gonna stick to this style. And then, true story, I get to LA, and the great Angela Davis, she's the #1 Soul Cycle instructor. I went to her class one time, and she started preaching on the mic. She was like, and I need you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, and you need to deep down inside.
Church style. She's going church style.
I was like, oh, she's talking to me. I'm almost bawling my eyes out, but I'm sweating, so you can't tell if I'm crying and shit like that. So I went home and I switched my style up from yelling at people. Then I started to motivate people. Does that make sense?
Right.
So now I'm like, yeah, you knocked down. He said it's okay. But make sure when you knock down, you fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. So I started switching it up to motivation. I'm still yelling, but I started to make more sense now. Before I used to be like, yo, you fat motherfucker can't do 10 push-ups. Get out of my gym. Here's your membership.
You were more aggressive.
Yeah, I was more aggressive with a different delivery. So then I started being more, and then, LA, I just switched up my style, and, got the bigger clientele, as you can see, as time went on. Yeah, man, so I just had to, as good things, you know what I mean, that I went to Angela Davis class that time, because like, God,
it gave you a little.
It gave me a little like maturity, a little like growth, a little growth, a little wisdom to like I said, you can reinvent yourself every day.
To better your craft, and
it just molded it. It sharpened me, it molded it, and it just put me in another direction. Still a savage, still a beast, but it put me in another direction to reach another like broader audience.
Got it.
That's what it did.
Got it. Let me ask you this. So obviously I'm not a former fighter, but you know, I've done boxing because
Everybody's a fighter.
I just got that boxing passion.
But everybody's a fighter.
Everybody's a fighter.
Maybe you're not a former boxer.
Exactly. I'm not a former boxer, but I'm
you're
a former
a fighter.
athlete. I'm a former athlete.
Yes.
Obviously, I've played professionally.
Everybody's a fighter. I don't like when people say, I'm not a fighter.
I'll take it back.
Everybody's a fighter.
I'm actually
We're all fighting for something.
Hey, you know me.
Yeah.
You know me.
Yeah.
I'm a fighter.
Exactly.
But my point
You know what I mean?
was,
you're fighting for your rights. I'm fighting my demons. The man's fighting for his child support. Everybody's fighting something.
There's always a
Yeah, we all have fight in us.
So my thing is, when I'm seeing it as a competitor, as
Yes.
a former athlete,
Yeah.
and I wanted to ask you that question. When I see this whole new trend of everybody want to be boxing, it's the last 15 years, 10, 15 years,
Yeah.
it just blew. Everybody, like boxing gyms everywhere, everybody's a boxing trainer, everybody
Yeah.
wants to do pads for the gram.
It has this trend.
And again, I know that's your industry,
Yeah.
you obviously make that for a living, but
Yeah.
from on the outside looking in, how do you feel about this new trend of everybody's a boxer? How does that make you feel? Because we don't play boxing. You come from that industry. It's
Yeah. We
real
don't play boxing.
Art, like the
No,
normal
you can't
art.
play boxing.
You
Can't play
fight.
boxing.
You put your life on the line.
Yeah, it's serious. It's
But
serious.
everybody wants to do it for the gram. How?
It's just a facade. Like real fighters know and real trainers know how to separate. You know what I mean? The it factor. You know, like we know who's good and who's just doing it for the gram.
Right.
Doing it for the gram is 90%. I'm
95.
I'm in that exactly. I'm in the 5. I'm in the 1%. You know what I mean? So we know. I just see it and it just goes over my head. That's 15 minutes of fame. You know what I mean? Those guys don't last. I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life if I want to. You know what I mean? Those guys are just 15 minutes of fame. It comes in and out. If a real boxer goes there to go train with those guys, they'll never go back. They'll be like, what the hell's going on? Those guys are not longevity. They're just doing it just for likes and comments.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I do it because I change people's perspective on how to live life. I change people's thinking. I change people's mind, body, soul, you know, spirit. You know, I know what I do. I touch somebody to turn to gold.
You disrupt their lives.
I disrupt their whole life. I break down their old self and they become a brand new man when they walk out of the gym. They tell me.
Do you remember how we met?
No.
'Cause I can tell you how we met. We met 5 years ago through one of my boys, and I was looking for actual boxing gym. I was tired of all
Why?
No knock on Equinox. I was tired of all those.
That's not a boxing gym.
Fitness.
Yeah. The facade. The facade.
I was just trying to offer some boxing classes.
Got it.
So I was like, yo, I was in LA at the time, and my guy was like, yo, come, boxing with my guy. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
I'm not trying to do no fitness boxing.
Got it. You thought my gym was fitness.
I remember when I first met you?
Yeah. That was it.
My nose was broken by that. My nose was broken. Not
We're not
from a
gonna
fight,
talk
not
about
from
that.
a fight, from a different fight. That's for a different story though.
I remember.
But yeah, that's why, I really felt, and we had that
You
connection.
told me that day. You're like, wow.
Because I was
There's a
finally
real
finding
boxing
a real
gym
boxing
in
gym.
Los Angeles.
Exactly.
I'm like that. And you're looking at it. And the man brought you, that's God. That's God. God speaks to us through people, through music, through books, through movies, and that was God. That was God that was talking to you that day.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
He brought you to the promised land. That's how you came that day.
To greatness.
You came to the promised land. That's how you came that day. Exactly. You was looking for something and you found it. And that's it. And here we are 5 years later.
Here we are.
In a whole new vicinity.
In a boxing gym in Paris.
In a boxing gym.
In Paris.
Under the Eiffel Tower.
God
can't
get better than that.
God is great.
Can't get better than that.
That's beautiful.
My
God is
man.
great.
So tell me, how do we go from a young African kid from Nigeria to coming to America and disrupt and shock Hollywood? How do you How do you do that?
Confidence, man. You got to believe in yourself, man. I don't care how many people believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself.
So let me ask you this. Sorry to cut you off. Let me ask you this. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Believing in yourself, confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Is that disruptive mentality something that you grow and build, or you think it's natural? You was born with it.
No, it's something you find. There's two important days in a man's life. There's the day he was born and the day he finds his purpose. Some people find it early like me, some people find it late. And then he finds it, and it's like, oh man, I can do this naturally. I can do this in my sleep. I could do this without even thinking. I could do this, with my eyes closed. And then you mold it. What is the American dream? The American dream is finding something you love to do with ease, and you turn it into a paycheck. That's the American dream.
American dream.
That's it. That's what I did. I found something I was good at. I studied it. I molded it into my own. I made it great, and I said, okay, let me charge people for it. And that's what it is.
So you can become a disruptor. You can become a disruptor. You can become a game changer. You don't have to be necessarily born with that.
No, you don't have to be born
skill.
with it. In due time, you start feeling this immortal alpha male energy for females too. Alpha male energy. You're like, man. I've been local. I've been in my neighborhood. I've stepped out of my neighborhood. I've been in the town. I've stepped out of the town to another city. I've been in that city. Let me step out of the world. You step out of the world, you're like, wow, there's nowhere else to step outside of the world. So once you've conquered all those things.
We never know. You might step out of the galaxy.
Not yet, exactly. You might step to the galaxy. I might do pads on the moon one day.
Hey.
To top it off. So when you have conquered all those things, like as an individual or whatever you do, sport, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever it is that you chose to do in life, you're like, wow, now I got something going here.
Right.
You as an individual, you're like, man, I'm actually great at this because I've tested everywhere. I've tested it locally. I've tested it internationally. Let me start charging. Let me charge the people for it because I have something here that a lot of people don't have. You know you're different,
right?
Just by being around other great motherfuckers. I've been around other great trainers, and I'm like,
yeah,
that was cute.
No, I feel you.
That was cute.
I feel you.
I clap when I'm impressed.
So you never clap. You never clap.
Pick up the pieces. I clap when I'm impressed.
I feel you.
Yeah.
So you said it. You've been around. Obviously, you started local and you grew and then nationally and globally.
Yeah.
So you've been around the world.
All around the world.
I got another question now.
Yeah.
You travel the world.
Yes.
Is it any country, place that stands out as far as like that you find the most disruptive? I don't know if it's regarding with the culture, with the lifestyle, with the energy.
Nigeria is so disruptive. It's
sure.
probably in a negative way. Probably not. Probably more than negative. They just don't care out there, man. Anything goes, man. You know what I mean? Anything goes.
It's
so savage.
Jungle.
Yeah. It's the real jungle. We're real animals. You know what I mean? They are so disruptive, and I'm born and raised there. And I say, God, please let one day. I hope that country like. They come together. They understand each other. It's not you versus me. It's a unity kind of thing. We rise. That mentality of we rise by lifting each other up. I pray one day that country actually comes together as such and share the wealth. Not like a certain amount is rich and there's no middle class.
Right.
And then you either poor or rich.
Yeah,
choose one. So yeah, I hope one day that they are so disruptive. It's ridiculous.
So definitely Nigeria.
1,000%.
Got it. How often do you go back?
I used to go like once every couple of years, and then the last time I went was pre-pandemic, a couple of months before the pandemic, and then the whole world shut down.
So that's another disruptive moment of our lives.
Yeah, of course.
Pandemic. We
Yeah,
just
the pandemic.
kind of got out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And you being around the world, if I'm not mistaken, you was at the time in Thailand.
Yeah, I was in Thailand. I went to
whole world-
Thailand for like 2 weeks.
And they shut it down.
Vacation, and then they closed the airports. They got shut down. Pandemic.
So how long did you stay there?
I was there for 5 months.
So you went for a 2-week vacation
Yeah.
to a 5-month. I'm locked in Thailand. And how did you handle that?
Easy, because I don't live life with expectations, and I don't plan life. You know what I mean? So that happened. You know, if it was somebody that planned, they'll be freaking out. Like, oh my God, I planned to stay here for 2 weeks. Now I'm stuck here for the rest of whatever. You know what I mean? Those things don't bother me. Everything that happens in my life is natural to me. I handle it because I stay prepared at all times for the good and the bad. A lot of people don't stay prepared for the
bad.
opposite that's going to happen. I hear people say, I'm going to Jamaica tomorrow. It's going to be fun. I say, what if it's not fun?
Then
Did you
how
set
do
your
handle
mind
it?
up for that? You just assume it's going to be fun.
Always
Because your
expect the
friend went a couple of
unexpected.
months ago and it was fun. I live with the I
Always expect the unexpected.
at
That's
all
the
times.
mentality you gotta have.
I live like that.
You actually the one who always tell me when we playing, God laughs.
God is laughing. There's no plan. Did I plan to be here today? No. So I just
was
got on
that-
a plane.
Was that a disruptive experience though? It's 5 months in Thailand.
Nah, it was magical, man.
Magic.
I woke up in paradise every day.
Sensational.
Wow, it was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yes, it was something like from a movie. You know when you read books and they say, I woke up in paradise. I was waking up in paradise every day. You gotta understand, everybody is on lockdown and quarantine, and I'm not, because they only had 17 cases out there. So they didn't care for COVID. It's like, you guys are just getting COVID. You know, Asia gets everything first before us.
I know, right?
Yeah, Asia gets everything first before. Everything is made in Asia. You know what I mean?
Everything is made
Everything
in
made in
Asia.
China. My kids are made in China. So, they get everything first. They get TVs first, they get electronics, they get all that stuff first. So they're like, you guys are just getting COVID? I'm like, you know about it? I don't know what COVID-19 is. It's like, oh, man, we had that 3 years ago. You guys are late. You guys are so late. America be late. I was like, damn.
Has been.
Yeah. So I was having the time of my life, man. I was having the time of my life.
Wow.
And comes back to this old cliche saying, God gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Like, I was in a situation where dude, you just freestyle life. You freestyle life.
And that's what you're the best at.
And I'm gonna write books about that shit one day on how to freestyle life, how to not be stuck in this fucking 3,000-year-old upbringing, and your parents, they bestow it on you with their old-fashioned thinking that people live by. I hear girls say, this is out of the point, but it still makes sense. I can't wait to find a nice Jewish man because I'm Jewish. What a box to put yourself in.
I know.
So this Asian man and this Indian man and this black man and this man, you're just gonna forget about them because you're just focused on this want to find a
Miss out
good
on
luck.
potential opportunity just because you
So much opportunity.
closed.
It's worse than closed-minded.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The wise man said the worst thing about being alive is being alive and not living.
That's actually being dead.
You're the dead man walking.
You're just dead man.
You're waiting to get buried at 75. That's the worst thing you can ever do. You be alive and not living. How can you be looking for one specific thing in this 8 billion people world?
This is crazy.
You're planning to fail.
But on the other side, on the flip side though, it's like, how can you get attached to people just, waste your time or whatever, when it's like you said, 8 billion people on there.
Top 10 things of being successful. No attachment. Zero attachment.
0.
Top 10. Zero attachment. I'm not attached to nothing. When I thought about moving to LA, you know how long it took me to move to LA?
2 hours.
Like
2 hours.
a little bit more than that. Probably like less than 2 weeks. It came in my mind. I started packing little by little. I said, I don't need coats. Okay, get that out of the way. I don't need none of these fur coats. You can trash all that. Give me shorts. Give me workout clothes. A few jeans. Yeah. It took me like less than 2 weeks. I was going with the wind. I didn't ask nobody. Because the wise man says, if you got something good for you, don't tell nobody shit. Because they might put the bad spirits in.
Privacy is power.
It's amazing.
Privacy is power.
It's amazing. And I don't move like that. I don't need to tell you a major move in my life.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
For what?
Fuck social media. Fuck you, bitch. Are you paying for this flight? Are you paying for me to move to LA? Are you paying for the U-Haul truck? No, you're not. So why am I telling you? You're going to find out.
Also, if I didn't tell you, it must have been none of your business.
It's super none of your business, which is 99% of my life. It's none of your business.
There you go.
You just know the 1%. Enjoy it.
So you go to LA.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Summer of 2017.
I'm not trying to, name drop and all that, but you trains from the
Everybody
Kevin
knows
Hart to the Drake to the Kelly Rowland to the you name it. Carmelo Anthony, Lala, and,
Anthony,
Chris Brown,
Alicia Keys,
everybody. So, tricky question.
Yeah.
Who do you think out of all the guys, the people, the elite talent you train, who do you think is the most disruptive? If you had to choose one.
There's a lot of savages. Who's the most disruptive? Yo, Drake is disruptive.
Big time disruptive.
Man, that guy's a fucking icon, man. He
next level.
He can do no wrong to people. That man, he can do anything he wants, man. He has like Michael Jackson power.
Wow. So he brought the disruptive mindset to a whole nother.
No, he's taking it to it's crazy. It's crazy. Like that man, he's so powerful, like mentally and physically, but like he's at that level. Like there's very few people like Elvis Presley, Muhammad Ali,
Michael
Jackson. Like,
right.
That's a disruptive level to be on.
Wow.
Man. Yeah.
That's a big statement.
That's
huge.
Crazy. No, I've seen it. Wow. I've seen it with my two eyes. Like, wow. Like, that shit is like when I first met Michael Jordan in the All-Star Weekend in Toronto a long time ago, I was like, he's not walking. He glides. And there's a light from the sky that shines on him. I can't believe my eyes. I have to take my glasses off. I say, he's not walking. He glides. That's what Drake has.
Wow.
That powerful. Those kind of people, they don't walk. They just go past you. And there's a light from heaven that shines on those kind of people. It's very rare. Yeah. Wow. One of those people come around they come around like once every 500 years, those kind of people. Yeah. It's that kind of power. I've seen it many times. Wow. I was like, Michael Jordan's not walking. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, the man's not walking. Do you see how he's moving? They're like, I said, I didn't even drink yet.
I'm sober.
The man was gliding. He was like this. Wow. In a blue suit, I'll never forget. I was like, yeah, he was just gliding. Like the train, when the train moves slow motion. Right. Oh, he got skates on. That's what I saw. Wow. That's how great that person is. Yeah. The man's disruptive, man. On the highest level of it.
Savage disruptor.
Beast. Like no other. Can do no wrong.
Who is the most disruptive fighter according to you, and why?
Right now?
All time. Right now, all time, ever.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like right now. The most disruptive fighter would be Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson, I just felt like man had power on both hands. Man, footwork was phenomenal. I remember he was one of the first people to be like 90-0. That's unheard of.
90-0.
Yeah.
So I thought Flo was 50-0 and it was
no. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Julio Cesar Chavez was 89-0 before his first loss.
Wow.
Yeah, like 80-something-0. Yeah.
This is crazy. The real fighters though, or he had a bunch of bums and a mix of
all of the above.
Wow.
You get the real fighter, you get the tomato cans, you get the cab drivers. A win is a win. If you get in the ring with me, I don't care what you are.
I know. And that's
you're
what,
a pro fighter.
And that's what makes it hard sometimes to maintain, and it shows how elite some of those guys are.
Yeah.
Because you know how people
a bum could come out of nowhere and beat you
Exactly.
with a lucky punch.
Or you get comfortable.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you just get like, you soften up a little bit because you think you're just all that, and then boom. You get,
That's why people watch sports, because it's unpredictable. So yeah, so Sugar Ray Robinson, for sure, like super destructive, like savage beast. And then after that, we're talking old school now. And nowadays, Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford is not because he's the pound for pound king, but I've been watching him for years, since like 2016, and that man is
different.
He's just super different. He's unstoppable. He's a beast. He can outbox you. He can outbrawl you. You know, he got the height. He has the reach, and he just shows it every fight, man. He shows it every fight. He can knock you out with a body shot. He's just natural. Those people are born to be fighters.
Yeah.
Like Roy Jones Jr. He's like, what other sport could you have played?
Right.
Nothing. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
You were put on this earth to be that and that only.
And excel in that.
And man.
And disrupting that.
Anybody in your way. Anybody in your way. When you see a lion doesn't have to say he's a lion.
No.
He just comes on the street and motherfuckers start running. He's like, what the fuck you running for? He didn't even do nothing yet. That's how I look at those kind of people. Terrence Crawford's, the man's a lion in the room. People just start running. You know, if a bear opens the door right now, you know what I mean? We just gonna start running. We didn't ask no question because we're so afraid of that being.
By the way, kind of like you know, I got dual culture. I'm, from Nigeria and America. I'm from France and Cameroon.
Yes.
But talking about the lion, there's a saying where we're from that says, the man who sees the lion never runs as fast as the man who the lion saw.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
If you
I've
see
never
a
heard that
lion,
one. Yeah.
you're not gonna be as fast as the cat that the lion
saw. Yes.
The lion saw.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's true. That's facts.
Because trust me,
There's a saying in Nigeria. I actually wrote part of it. Is if you see me and the bear fighting in the woods, save the bear. I wrote that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Save the bear.
Save the bear.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure it's safe. Make sure it's good.
Don't call the animal cruelty, homie. I love it. What a time.
So I'm gonna throw it back to earlier when we started. You was talking about, you transitioning from Hollywood to King.
Yeah, to KingHino.
So I wanted to ask you the question, how did you get the Hollywood nickname? It's always been a question for me.
Yeah. I got the Hollywood name from, I remember when I first turned pro in the early 2000s, and I had this manager, man, that motherfucker, he's a destructor. He was a beast, man. He believed in me and I believed in him, he would take me to like shop, and he was like, yo, I don't want you to look like these other fighters. I want you to stand out. I want you to look like you're from the hood, because every fighter looks like every fighter's story is rags richest story, kind of, so you grow up in the hood, and then, he would have me like in suits and things like that, nice shoes and like expensive shit.
Fancy.
So I would finish like a press conference or something, or interview in the city, and I'll come back to the hood, and you know how guys are the hood is still the hood. Anytime you try to step out the box or try to be different or try to want to better yourself to get out of the hood, they're gonna try to pull you down.
Right,
But I'm
right.
too powerful to be pulled down. So it's like, you Hollywood now. Oh, you think you Hollywood now. You know, anytime you try to step out, yeah, it happens in every hood. You know,
Right,
they
right.
will try to pull you down, and if you fall for it, you will be pulled down to the same level as them. I was too high anyways for somebody to pull me. That goes in one ear, come out the other when it comes to like verbal bullying. You know, like come on.
But then you play with it, because then they were sending that to you, and then you.
They don't even know they were giving me the name I was gonna ride with.
Throwing bricks, you built a wall.
Yeah, exactly. And I built a mansion with it. So they were like, oh, you Hollywood now. Oh man, you too good for us now. And then my mind was like, I am too good for you guys, because I'm gonna step out the box. You guys are still gonna be sitting on this bench, and I was right. You guys are still gonna be sitting on this bench smoking your weed. You know what I mean? You know, and still be in the hood and can't get out the hood because you're a prisoner of your mind. You know, and so then I just adapted to it. And I remember one day I was gonna make some like a robe and some shorts, and then Colin Morgan, who I switched trainers to in 2007, and he goes, you should put Hollywood on the shorts. I was like, oh no, that's what nickname people called me back in the day. He's like, you should put it. And then since that day, like people just said, yo, HOLLYWOODHINO. It was like, it made sense anyway. It was H and an H, and it made sense with my name, and we just stuck with that for years until recently. I was like, I think I'm over it. You know what I mean? I think I'm over the Hollywood, because the Hollywood is so local. Hollywood is just it's a city in a city.
Yeah.
You know, I need to go more global and international. So I just said, well, you're gonna change it to KingHino. You know, and I'm a king anyways. My grandfather was a king, so it's in my bloodline. So yeah, so it's just KingHino worldwide.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first here.
Yes, here
this
first.
is breaking news. HOLLYWOODHINO is old news.
It's old news.
And breaking news, KingHino.
Yeah.
In the place.
Yeah, in the place,
Paris.
and just part of your reinventing yourself, reinventing the brand. You know, you're still gonna bring more heat to them, but it's just more of like a mature way, like a grown-up way. You know, I mean, I'm in my 40s now, so you can't be calling me Hollywood.
You don't look like you're in the
You call me
40s.
that at 22.
You don't look like you're in the 40s.
You know,
you look better than some
my
18-year-old
skincare routine.
kids.
I need to put out my skincare routine on YouTube. No, but yeah, that's a huge compliment. People say you don't look your age. I'm like, hey, what's the secret to not looking? I'm saying, you gotta live an unbothered life. You gotta not let nothing bothers you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me. So you stressed out. Guys get gray hair. You know.
I do.
Yeah, and you see exactly, because you let things stress you out. You know what I mean? My mom used to say, "You're so nonchalant about things." Yeah, because I'm unbothered.
So King, because now I'm gonna call you King, because you told me
Yeah.
the old-fashioned name is gone. So now it's
From now on, my name is no more Cassius Clay. I'm gonna be called Muhammad Ali. From now on, no more Cassius Clay. I'm gonna be called Muhammad Ali.
See, look at you with the impersonation.
Yeah.
Man. Yo, so how do you come up with impersonation like that? Let me show you something, man.
Yeah.
I want to surprise you with some old footage.
Oh wow! Damn! I never know what people are gonna show me.
Wow, there you go. Just hit play.
This is here. This is. Where is this? Hey, yeah.
What is it?
This is my first time in Paris. Last time I came.
Fuck what they say. It's what I say.
It's what I
Never
say.
what anybody say. It's what I say and what I believe. Look at my eyes. You see the eyes of the tiger.
Oh.
I'm coming for you, Joe Frazier. You can run, but you can't hide. I'm coming for you, John. It ain't nothing, and you ain't never gonna be nothing.
Oh, where'd you get these from?
I got all of the footage, man. I'm asking you the question. Where did you get that impersonating skills from? Like,
Nah. I just study greatness, man.
You study greatness.
I study greatness, man. I study how they sleep, how they eat, how they carry themselves in their sport, how they carry themselves outside of their sport. So yeah, so I love greatness, man. I just love it, man. Like, because legends never die.
Legends never die.
So I'm never gonna die.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
My
brother.
physical body might be 6 feet under.
But
I'm gonna live forever.
But your energy
and
is
people's
gonna live
memories
forever.
and people are gonna constantly mention me for the rest of their life.
So talking about energy.
Yeah.
Where do you get that from? Because the same day I met you,
Yeah.
I got another one for you. That's the one same day I met you.
Yeah.
We talk about energy? Mm-hmm. Here you go.
That's not your first time meeting me.
Oh my God, don't play. Don't play with me like that, yo.
Don't play with me like
Shit
that.
like that give me hype, yo. When I come in here, I see the energy, then I gotta double it.
And triple
Then I
it.
gotta triple it.
There you go.
Cause I can't let y'all be more hype than me.
Nah, I can't let you outwork
Go
me.
back to Starbucks.
Where do you get that energy from, man? Check out this one. Check out this one. Check out this one, man. You're just full with energy, man.
Born
Like
with
it
it, man.
never.
You are born with energy.
Eyes up. Woo! On a Monday, baby.
This cannot be the first day we met.
Talk about I
First
hate
day we
Monday.
met.
It is.
First day we met.
I
Why
can't
you
believe
hate
you got
Monday?
this footage.
Tell me what you did this weekend that made you hate Monday. All savage, all beast. Half man,
That's a lot
half
of
beast.
energy. That's a lot of
Working,
energy.
we winning,
On a Sunday morning.
and we make them like
Doesn't matter what day. I don't think about what day we are. Wow. Wow. First impression. That was a good
First impression.
Yeah.
First impression.
That was a good first impression.
You're just
That's crazy. That's crazy.
on a thousand every
Yeah.
day, 24/7, never stops.
Life is beautiful, man. I was born with that kind of energy, you know? And like I said, you take that, you are you, and that's your power. People don't embrace what makes them different. That's why they'll never become successful. That makes me different. My energy is unmatched. No one, they can't even try. They'd be exhausted. By midday. If you try to do what I just did, you'd be exhausted by midday. You'd be like,
can't
how the
copy
fuck
it.
this
You
guy
can't
do it
copy
for 13 years, 15 years straight? Because that's my thing. I do that naturally. You can't tell that day if my dog died yesterday, my girlfriend broke up with me, if I was sick, if I was hungover. You can't
But
tell.
that's what it's all about, though. You can't show.
can't-
You can't show.
you just show no
nobody your
emotions.
Emotions, exactly.
No.
How you feel. You can't let them know.
And I give that every day. Whether you're paying me $1, whether you're paying me $100 million, I'm gonna give you that same energy. That's what
good.
people don't understand. I've seen some trainers, and one day I'm gonna come out with a masterclass for trainers, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of them wanna hear what I have to say as far as like the blueprint, you know what I mean? How to become the best, like how I became. You show no emotion, man. That has a lot to do with it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Once you walk in here, nobody cares about what's happening in your personal life. Nobody really cares. They can't do nothing about it. You know what I mean? And you have to come and give 1,000% of you every day.
1,000%.
No matter the 1,000%. You know what I mean? Not 100. 100% you're just gonna fall in the same
Listen
category.
up, yo.
You
1,000%.
have to come and give 1,000%. That's why a lot of people ask me, how do I get to the next level? How do I level up? I'm like, I give it 100. I'm like, that's where you went wrong.
But you know how everybody wants to be great, though. They just
No, they
don't want
don't.
to do what it takes.
No, they don't.
It's crazy.
They don't want to be great. They don't want to go through the anxiety, the disappointments.
They all look at you and say,
rejections.
"Oh man, you lucky. You travel the world. Oh, you lucky. You got
That's
this. Oh,
that's the worst thing somebody can ever tell me. I'm lucky. That means you don't know.
Ain't
me.
no luck.
You don't know me.
Ain't no luck.
You don't know me. For you to say I'm lucky to live this lifestyle that I live now, you don't really know me. You just met me.
You don't know shit.
You don't know nothing.
You know.
You just met me yesterday. You just met me on Instagram. So the worst thing somebody can ever say to me is luck. You know what I mean? Luck is for the unprepared. I was ready for this lifestyle.
Yeah.
I knew where I was going in life. You know what I mean? Thank God. More came to me than I've ever imagined.
Right.
You know? I thought I was just gonna travel a little bit of the world, meet these people. Man, I met Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Doing
Cool.
what I do. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? So things like that. You know, I met Mike Tyson, like idols, like people would never ever be in
You met
the same
everybody.
the same breath as them. You know what I mean? Boxing has opened a whole nother world and door for me but it came through consistency and hard work. Nobody just came and say, "Oh, Mike Tyson wants to meet you today." You know what I mean? So So the worst thing somebody can ever say is luck. What differentiates greats from good? Because good hates great. Because that's where they want to be.
Exactly.
Great doesn't look back to good. Because that's in his past.
But do you think we still have a lot of that greatness in that new world we live in, and everybody's just
Yes, we do.
lazy and they want shortcuts and
Yes, we do.
social media?
Yes, we
era?
do.
Like personally, when we lost Kobe, to me it was like almost
the
like I
last-
lost the last,
No, you didn't.
influence. Or
And LeBron came after.
there you go.
Yeah. So torches are passed down. There's another HOLLYWOODHINO, KingHino coming up right now.
But you know how
Torches are passed down.
You know how Kobe was so detailed oriented, so
In his time.
obsessed with perfection.
In his
excellence.
time.
You got to meet him, right? You got
Yes.
to work out with him.
Yes, I got to work out with him.
Different
Rest in
league.
peace, Kobe Bryant. But torches are passed down. And LeBron took it.
So let me ask you this. We all do a quick question now.
Yeah.
So you talk about LeBron.
Yeah.
If I'm bringing the GOAT question,
Yeah.
Jordan or LeBron?
Michael Jordan. Because that's the era I grew up in. I didn't grow up in the LeBron era. I grew up in the Michael Jordan era. Both are GOATs. But when you talk about a higher GOAT, there's different levels of GOAT. Michael Jordan.
Can he be different levels of GOATs though?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
They can. You can find another trainer that you'll call a.
Well, by
he's the greatest of all
definition,
time.
by definition, GOAT means greatest of all time. How can you
Of
be
all time.
How can it be different levels to that? If
There's
the
different
greatest
levels.
of all time, there's only one.
There's different eras. There's different eras as far as greatest of all time.
Got
But
it.
there's a level
Makes sense.
of GOAT.
Makes sense.
But yeah, there's levels of GOAT. You know, and as far as GOAT status, Jordan is higher than LeBron. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So let's continue. Pele or Maradona?
Number one is Black History Month, and I have to go with Pele.
Fair
Number
enough.
one, because I go for what athletes do in their respectful fields and outside. What do they do for the people? I don't feel like Diego Maradona, he did do for the people, but as much as what Pele did, you know, the guys were like, you know, you look at things, guys are going to like kids' hospitals and like those things. You have to look at those things build even more of a character, like what Ali and those guys did. You know, it's like I go for the overall of the individual,
Got it.
not just because
Makes
of
sense.
sports.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
So Ali or Tyson?
Muhammad Ali and Tyson would say that the same thing too. Muhammad Ali, went against the war, which made him bigger than what he was at that time. You gotta understand, those guys were fighting for like 15 rounds. Those guys were fighting, there was like one title that time, you know, or maybe two at that time. You know, I just feel like sports back in the days was more difficult than what it is now. You know, go watch old Tyson tapes. There's no treadmills in the gym, there's no nothing. These guys they were working out like cavemen. They were running 5 a.m.
Straight
Fighters
savage.
don't run at 5
Straight
a.m.
savage.
anymore. Yeah, it was just all beast. It was like, these guys were training like how the guys trained in the ancient Greece days, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they were real killers.
They still do it in Russia nowadays. Till this
Of
day,
course,
that's how they do it.
Yeah, that's what. Well, as you can see, when Russia in the Olympics and athleticism, those guys are like, they're different.
Yeah.
You know, you have to test them sometimes for doping because they're like, that's inhumane what this guy just did.
Inhumane.
Yeah, they're breaking records like because they're fine-tuned athletes from birth. You know.
Pac or Biggie? You're a New York guy. That
You
lives
get
in
me in
LA.
trouble. You can get me. I wish there was a neutral thing. Well, I am in New York to heart. I've only been in LA 5 years. I've been in New York 25 years, so I have to go for Biggie Small. I'm a huge,
Baby.
yeah, I'm a huge Pac fan, but I grew up in New York City, you know what I mean, and Biggie Small.
Okay, last one on these. Colin Kaepernick or Patrick Mahomes?
That's different.
As far as disruptors, maybe not GOATs, but like who disrupted the most between Kaepernick and Patrick Mahomes? And it could be for different reasons.
Mahomes is just, to me, football.
But
Kaepernick
hell
was-
disrupting though. Hell disrupting.
On the field.
That's what I said.
That's it.
It's
And we
up
don't
to
know
you.
his lifestyle. Kaepernick.
Kaepernick.
Yeah, he stood for more. He stood for more. He had a reason behind it, you know, and a lot of people went against him, but he stood his ground and he came out on top, you know, of it. We didn't know, remember I read the news and they said Nike was still paying him, you know, under the table. I was like, oh wow, that's amazing. I don't know, he's gonna be like I said, we do this for legacy, we do it for longevity. Like I said, legends never die. I think Kaepernick will be remembered longer than Mahomes. Mahomes will just be known for like, okay, he won rings. But they're gonna be like, one time this guy took a knee and it meant something and bravery and courage that, you know, like that
and
people
stood for what he
that people are afraid to do. People are afraid to speak up against something that a lot of people believe in, you know. And he'll be referred to as like a modern day, like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X was going against something and stood against it and believed in it and died for it. You know, that's how Kaepernick will be remembered. Whereas this other guy would just be, Mahomes would just be remembered as a football player.
Right.
It's different.
Right.
You know, like how Mike Tyson would be known as a fighter and Muhammad Ali would be known as godly. You know, like the Pope.
Right.
Touch people.
Right.
And people fainted. You know, that kind of thing. Like people cry when Muhammad Ali loses. People don't cry when Tyson loses. Like, oh, Tyson got knocked out. Whatever. You know, how do you touch people?
So you're talking about Muhammad Ali, and that brings me to my next question.
Yeah.
You know, you're African, I'm African.
Yeah.
And to me, Africa got, you know, plenty potential left and
Tons.
hella disruptive. Muhammad Ali went there to fight back then in Kinshasa, Zaire.
Yeah.
The Rumble in the Jungle fight.
1974.
So do you think we'll ever get a chance to witness a fight of that
magnitude?
That magnitude in Africa? I mean, there's so many disruptors in Africa.
Who's gonna do it? Where's gonna do it? You know, President Mobutu, he had a vision, and Don King obviously had a place in it too, as far as hyping them up, because it took a long time before they chose a country that was gonna host this fight. If you know your boxing history, who's gonna do it? Now, what country?
Some countries can host them, you know, whether it's
They
South
can,
Africa,
but who's
whether it's
gonna put
Rwanda, whether it's Senegal, whether it's, you know, Nigeria, why not? I mean, you know.
Who's gonna put it together now? Who's gonna look back and go, let's all come together, let's all agree on individual pay cuts and let's host the biggest event in boxing since the Zaire fight.
I mean,
who's gonna put that together?
And it might not have to be boxing.
I know, but who's
per se.
gonna put that together?
I don't know. That's the question I'm asking you. Because Africa got disruptors. Whether it's Francis Ngannou in the MMA, UFC, you know, Usman, Adesanya. There's so many African athletes that disrupted their industry. Whether it's in, you know, the fighting world or like
Fighting,
soccer guys,
music,
you know,
movies.
movies.
Yeah.
So
When it comes to an event that big, who's gonna put it together? Is my question. And which countries?
that was my question.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who's gonna put it. Everybody's so greedy. Everybody's so corrupted. Everybody's so like living in this. It's me, and how much I can put to the side in my pocket. You know.
So let me
too much.
put it this way. If we had to have a fight in Africa, who would you see as potential fighters or African fighters to fight in the motherland for a fight of that magnitude? Whether it's the UFC fighters, boxers, it doesn't matter.
Oh man, there's so many. Like I like that kid. I think he's from London. Like Okoli. Okoli's good. Anthony Joshua's Nigerian or African, whatever the fuck he want to be. You know, those guys can go back and put on a big show. You know what I mean? Qatar, Saudi Arabia, these guys are hosting big boxing fights now recently, man.
Yeah. Everything happens there now.
Same thing can happen there. And these guys are from Nigeria. These guys, they just got to select a few African superstars. They can even mix it up. They can do boxing and UFC together.
They're talking about Francis Ngannou moving to boxing now because he didn't, renew his UFC deal. So what about a Ngannou versus Joshua fight in Nigeria? How about that?
Joshua
would it
might
sell?
be too advanced for him. It'll sell. It'll sell. 2 Africans in Africa at a stadium seating. It'll sell. It'll sell big if it's put together. If there's no greed in it. There's a lot of greed in countries such as, you know what I mean? Somebody wants to. There's always somebody that's gonna fuck it up at the end of it. There's always somebody that's gonna mess it up.
Right.
It looks good.
Unfortunately.
It sounds good. The promotion looks good. The build up to it. The HBO 24/7 looks amazing. I can't wait to get to that fight. Hey, we have to cancel.
So there's a saying.
Yeah.
Another saying. Another one. That we say in Cameroon that, in Africa, anything's possible, but nothing for sure.
And there's a saying that I saw one time when I was in Seattle, because my oldest son lives in Seattle. The saying was on a rock. It was on a rock. It was carved in. It said, "Nothing is written in stone." I thought that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Beautiful. It was on a rock.
On a rock.
It says, "Nothing is written in stone."
Amazing. So before we finish, I got a little top 10, like a favorite 10. That I
Don't
need
disrupt
to
me.
People, you might learn a lot about KingHino today.
Today.
Things you don't know about him, we're gonna drop a top 10.
You think you know, but you have no idea.
So favorite 10. Be careful. It's gonna be quick, like
okay,
quick
fast,
answers.
fast. Okay.
Don't need to think. It's quick. Ready? Favorite food.
West African.
Music.
60s soul.
Sports.
Soccer.
Movie.
Forrest Gump.
Actor.
Denzel Washington.
Fighter.
Jack Johnson.
Artist.
No, I don't know artist. What you call an artist? Singer?
Like a singer.
Michael Jackson.
Place to live.
Place to live?
Yeah.
Thailand.
Clothing brand.
Come on. There's so many.
Your favorite.
There's so many.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
What's my favorite? Clothing.
You tell me? Okay, Joker. You pass.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite human.
My mom.
There you go.
Come on, that's the greatest person I've ever met in my life. Not the greatest woman.
Say it again.
That's the greatest person I've ever met in my life. Was my mom. She brought me life, and she brought me to America. Unless you guys would have never met me in your life.
Thank you, Mom.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing us here and bringing us together, giving us life and nurturing us, and giving us common sense.
Common sense.
Common sense is not so common.
Sometimes.
Yes, exactly. Your mom is your first friend, your first barber, your first cook, your first
psychologist.
Yeah, exactly. Your first therapist. Your mom
coach.
Is that. Yeah. So that's the greatest person I've ever met.
Right.
What a time.
What a time, man. It was a pleasure having you.
I had to come all the way to Paris.
All the way to Paris.
To do this.
And you're welcome back anytime.
Ah, man.
Anytime.
Listen.
Mi casa y su casa.
Yes, sir. One day when I stop being a fighter and become a lover, Paris will be it.
There you go.
Eiffel Tower, one knee.
It's right there.
It's right there.
Right around the
Eiffel
corner.
Tower, one knee.
One knee?
One knee.
Okay, I'll be
two
there.
diamond rings.
I'll be there. I'll be there. First row. First court side.
You gotta witness it, right?
I gotta witness it.
I gotta see this
I
for
gotta
myself.
witness it. I gotta witness it.
Nobody's gonna tell me. What a time.
It was good
Thank
having
bro.
you.
My man, Fresh Boy, what a time.
YOLO
In the flesh.
and the flesh. It's a wrap for today. Disruptors, stay tuned. See you next time.